So welcome to TradeClue, and we have made some changes in previous 1 week. Have you started observing those things? Have you started observing the volume buzzer? Has anyone started working on it? So how's the experience with the volume buzzers? So am I audible to everyone? Is there any voice breaking? It's audible, right? Okay. Please check your connection as well, guys. Those who have any issues, quite a helpful indicator. Thank you. So able to see blue color highlights. Okay. Now, as today we are not having any data, live data, but these are the things that we observe every single day, right? The symbols, then you are going to see the price wise change. That is how much gap up or gap down the market is about to open. And the most important feature is your pre-market volume, right? We are also going to see what is happening in first 5 minutes, what is happening in first 15 minutes. And now the important thing that I've added is your OS parts that I have mentioned in the previous session as well, right? That how you can get a knowledge about the purest stocks, the stocks which are having a very good open interest generated in futures, right? And that also facility we have added over here. Now, it will be the most important task that how to find out those stocks. And once we are getting all the stocks with the help of the scanner, now how to gauge with the stocks utilizing the opportunities, right? Now that is the main task that we need to perform. I've given you some ideas how to get in a stock, looking at some morning pointers, how to get in a stock, looking at the afternoon patterns as well, right? Have you started working on them? Okay, those who have missed this class, yes, those who have missed this class, please, I've uploaded the video on YouTube. Okay, the link is shared in the class. Yes, I'll provide the link as well. Okay, those who have missed, please go through them. So sometime what happen now, because if you don't have data provided by NSC, at that moment you may not get the exact pointers, but a system is very much fresh now, and we have started getting the data, live data and feeding. Okay, so from Monday onward, we will be not having that such issues. Sometime if the backend work is going on, we may miss the first 5 minute data, but the most important thing is you'll start getting this. You'll start getting all the pre-market volumes, right? So 2 days back there was Havels. I don't know how many of you have traded this, but this was the stock which came under the volume criteria, and then we have learned about the particular thing, that is the morning patterns, right? This is one of our morning patterns, right? Gap up, a little retracement, and then a confirmation. The confirmation is always above the first 5 minute candles high. As soon as you will get the confirmation, you can get in, keeping a very small stop loss in the place. So this is always we want to understand while trading a volume stock. That means the fuel is there. People are very much bullish or bearish on that particular stock. They are heavily transacting. Now we need to identify the sweet spots to enter, right? Let's quickly check the previous week's examples, okay? And then we'll move to the core topic. All right. So the first thing that happened was Hindustan Unilever. It started giving us one of our entry pattern, which was the base violation, and then a sharp reversal happened and it hit the stop loss. So it was a breakout pro that happened on Hindi Unilever. The second stop was Dr. Reddy. So we have created a position in the afternoon after it started breaching the first candle's high and making a very good pattern, which was higher lows, right? It started forming pumping. Do you know what is higher lows? Generally, when any stock makes these higher lows, we need to understand whether I can get any entry. Like here in this particular zone, it started forming lower highs. That means every single time whenever stock starts moving up, it got rejected. And if you see particular 20 moving average was the resistance at this moment, right? So every single buyer got trapped and price is moving down. Now when to enter in such stocks? Always look for a reference level. Now I'll come to know that this particular zone is acting as a crucial support. As soon as it will get rejected, I can think about getting into it because it is now also forming one of our pattern to enter, which is descending triangle, right? So moving ahead, what happened on 25th? On 25th also, it started forming this particular pattern. So earlier it was below 20 moving average, but then all the time we are getting some significant buyers and it started forming a pattern, right? This is what we want. As soon as it will come above the important zone, which is today's high, then we can think about getting into it, keeping a small SL, right? So we made a decent profit out of Dr. Reddy on the same day. Now this was the volume buzzers for the day. Now the Grasim was in top volume buzzer. Now you will see here in first 15 minutes it was showing you 10 out of 10. That means the most of the volume criteria were satisfied. What does that mean? 10 means the last maximum candle capacity. Let's see what happened on Grasim that day. Here Grasim also formed the similar pattern. Understand what happened with Grasim? It started forming a very good congestion zone, or you see a very thin layer where stock started trading. Every single time it got rejected from one particular level. What is happening in this zone? Now someone is continuously providing stuff, okay, and he wants to get out of it. As soon as his selling is done, and now a strong buyer emerges above that zone, what will happen? It's a clear breakout. Moreover, now the things started contracting in such a manner that it started forming a very good ascending pattern. The stock is in your highest volume criteria. It is also showing us last few days as compared to last few days, it is showing us a significant volume. Now I also told you how to see the volumes. We are not seeing any red volume or any green volume. We are just looking at a particular volume zone. That means the highest transactions. I've explained you, right? Now just by looking at any huge green node, it is not going to help us to identify it's a buying pattern, or looking at a huge red node, it is showing us any selling pattern. So what happened on this particular small candle? It's showing us a huge red bar. Does that mean it is going to show you the downside? No. These are just the transaction that happens, but the transaction are very heavy. Now again, what does that mean? Let's see. First thing first, that everyone needs to understand is the stock is having huge volumes. Looking at previous some days, am I looking any considerable volumes? There's hardly anything, right? From the start of the day, it starts showing me a huge volumes, right? It's a very good sign that stock is now traded in huge quantity. Moreover, people are now interested in this particular counter. I am not talking about the direction of the stock. I am simply talking about the heaviest transactions, which shown us here. So, if you look at pre-volume, look after Ultra Semco, it was having the highest volumes, right? And was showing us the first 15-minute candle with an increasing volume, right? Here we want to understand, am I getting any price action signs? I'm not just looking at blindly on volumes, but I am also looking at a particular pattern. If I'm getting one above one particular important zone, I'll be pretty much happy. In this case, it started forming a ascending triangle, right? So this was the case. The second one was the Reliance on the same day. If you'll see, both 5 and 10 minutes were showing 10 out of 10. That means the highest volumes, right? A very good open interest. Spots are also generated over there. Delivery percentage was also higher. Now let's go and check Reliance. Can anyone tell me what pattern it is? If you are getting huge red candle first and then a little retracement going forward, it is cutting that zone. What formation we are looking at? Exactly, Anthony, it is NY. Yes, so it's a Y pattern. That is a selling pattern, and that too with the ORB couple. That's perfect, right? So what we are having? We are having a huge volume, right? Is it a buyers or sellers? I'm not considering them as a buyer's volume or a seller's volume. It's just the transaction that happened. Now I'm getting confirmation on my price pattern. It is very much important to get that confirmation on the price itself. And then it started moving down. Unfortunately, it didn't move below one certain point till the entire day. But yes, in that morning tick only, we got some few points. But sometime what happened? Stock starts tumbling down. So this is the exact pattern we are looking at. It's your NY Pro for selling. Okay. If you look at this particular volume, there was hardly anything like this before, right? Let's move to this 27th. So 27th, we were having UPL. What was the story with UPL? UPL was having a very good pre-open, and then it was having little 5 and 15-minute volumes as well. Now what to understand in UPL's chart? Let's go on UPL. So whenever you will get the candle bars are rising. That means heavy and heavy volumes are started putting into it. You'll start getting the blue ticks on that stock. That means people are more and more engaged with the stock, right? What happened in the third candle? It shown us a rejection sign and then a base violation happened and stock started tumbling down heavily. So this was up till here. Am I getting any signs of entering in a stock? Looking at the first two candle, anyone? Is there any of our buying pattern which emerged in UPL up till here this point? Let's see. Important thing is it is with volume. It may go drastically up. That means a quick move can happen. But if the stock is not giving me any sign of entering with the retracement, see, if this was the third candle, and if I am getting any immediate candle closing above previous 2 days, previous two candles high, what I'll be having? I'll be having my entry point. At the same time, I'll be having my stop loss as well just below this red candle, right? So let's check the entry points again. I'll send them again in your group, okay? So this is what we want. Either gap down bullish zone or gap up bullish zone along with the volumes, okay? If the stock is just moving one way up, we want some reference point, right? Just a moment, guys, just a moment. Hold for a minute. Okay, so I'll show you the exact retracement pattern. Now, see, these are the patterns I'm more interested into. This is Bajaj Finance on 5 minutes, a huge green candle. Then it started moving sideways for some time. Now, whenever I am getting these red candles, after the first green candle, whenever I am getting small red candles, these are the people who either trying price pulling again into the zone or rather they are getting out of that zone because they are trapped. If I'm getting any other strong candle above that cluster, now I know everyone is got trapped over there. So I can have the reference level, which is called a immediate stop loss, and I can enter over here. This is exactly what I want in the morning along with my all morning buzzer stocks. See, this is the pattern. Two candles were continuously up. Then I am getting red candles and the confirmation. If I am getting such confirmations, I'll be more happy keeping a very small stop loss below the retracement and I can enter over there. What happened here with UPL? It's shown with two candles, then the retracement, but no confirmation above that cluster. I hope everyone is clear now. So Parikshit is asking about the BN last week. We got some fail attempts, right? Now one need to understand a clear thing. Going forward, we'll be having a budget. Okay. For next few days, I'm particularly talking about Monday and Tuesday. Don't think about the technicals going to work very beautifully. Major reason is market will flow along with the news. It's a news driven market. If I'm going to get anything along with any particular sector, a news will flow on. Now there will be no pattern to see a clear breakouts or any false breakouts. Okay. So you tell me, if the big news is about to come and the market is going to fluctuate heavily, what will be the ideal thing to do? Anyone? Exactly. So only watch it, don't trade. Okay. So this will happen on Monday, maximum Tuesday. So be alert. If I'm getting pure pattern, I want to enter, go with a very little quantity where the stop loss will not hurt my capital, rather my sentiments as well. Okay. If you want to get in, you are just trying to speculate. I don't want to do gambling. So what I will do is, I will rather try to watch the screen. I will look at volatility. I'll try to get some sense out of it. I will show you what exactly you can do along with this. Okay. I'll give you a little idea. Now let's first complete these examples to get the idea. So Naina asked me how to quickly judge this volume buzzer. As soon as you will open this chart from 9 a.m. and 8 minutes, 9 minutes, you will start getting all the data here in this particular chart. What you are going to get? First thing, the symbol, the price wise change, that is how much gap up or gap down opening will going to happen, the pre volumes. So these three pointers you are going to get in pre-market. So I'll come to know at different segment which are the stock which are ready to move up or down. I will rather focus on Nifty, FO and Bank Nifty. So most of the stock, I mean all the stocks are covered here only, right? Once you will get all the stocks in this zone, now think about first 5-6 stocks. If I'm going to get any confirmation on 5-minute volume, that is the volumes are very high, then I will keep that stock on only my radar. If it is showing me the same thing on 15-minute, which will start showing you the blue ticks as well as the parameters of 5 and 10, like that way. In this case, we will look into the entry point. Now, whatever parameter it will be. So because it's saying how do we know which stock is select among the volume buzzers, as well as someday many stocks have a very good volume, right? Now, am I going to jump on every stock or am I going to see the price action on that stock? No. Apart from volume, there may be some stocks, there may be 10 stocks to watch. Am I going to trade in all the stocks? We should have an entry criteria, right? The stock should move above one good daily resistance zone, weekly resistance zone, and should show us a pattern, right? More importantly, it should start giving us very good stop loss. Am I clear? Parikshit is asking, can we add a search box to search out after market analyzed stocks in such volume buzzers? We'll have our biasness based on aftermarket analysis. Yes, it will take practice. I'm uh, I'm unmuting you, Parikshit. I'm not getting your question. Yes, go ahead. Can you tell me?
Yeah, Chinmay, thanks. So I was asking like if we have a search box here, so if like after market analysis is like SDFC Bank will go up or down,
Mm-hmm.
and if I have a search box here and then I search for HDFC Bank, and then I can see, okay, percentage change is this much, pre-market volume and 5 minute
Okay, see,
volume or 15
what we
minute.
have at moment, we have our own watch list,
Yes.
right? In our watch list, we can add our stocks. Now, in those stocks, if I want to see a considerable change, what I can do, I can go in volume buzzer, I can just scroll down whether where my stock is lying.
Okay.
You will be having all the stocks. It's not that the just top 5 stocks will be there. Stocks
Okay.
will be
Okay.
there, right? You can search if the volume criteria is fitting on my stock. If there's there, it's an added point, right?
Yes. Yes.
And there
Okay,
are
Chinmay.
different segments as well. See, if my stocks belongs to metal, I will go to the metals. There will be hardly 5 to 6 stocks belongs to metal in FF, right?
Okay. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
way I can engage with the stock,
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah. I think I'll need to explore more this volume
See,
buzzer.
everyone needs to practice over
Yeah.
here. See, it's not just about the volumes, guys. There are some days definitely very huge volume will start arising on the stock. Talking about the Monday, Monday will be all about volume game, right? People are heavily engaged in the stocks. So you will get n number of stocks with such parameters. Are we going to engage with those stocks on that particular day? I'm not even going to engage with the stock even after getting particular fixed parameters. So even I want to, I will go with a very small amount. It's all about keeping our protecting our capital rather anything else, right?
Yes, Chinmay. Thank you, Chinmay.
Yes. Anyone else?
Hello, sir. This
Yeah,
is
hi.
Vignesh here.
Yes, tell me.
Presently, on-screen chart UPL, on
Uh-huh.
the first, there is a huge, this green candle is there at the closing at the maximum call OI.
Right,
And after that, we have just indicated this red box is there.
right.
That red box should be taken as a sell signal, or just a kind of that we should be cautious and not go on the buy side.
In the live market, what we are getting over here, we are getting a dotted line over here. If you observed,
Yes,
sometimes we
yes.
start getting the dotted line. The dotted line means nothing but the highest transactions. Now, please again, guys, understand this concept. If you understand this concept now, it will be very much easy for us to gauge with the market. Now, I'm getting a huge volume node over here, right? It is green. So does that mean that it's a buyers that are fused with the stock? No, just transactions. That means, do you see how much volume is there? You will see over here, okay? Observe this box. How much volume it is showing me at the moment?
146.
So it is 1.46 million transactions happened over there. Suppose guys, if I want to buy UPL at a certain price, which is 596, okay? I'll punch my quantity. Say, suppose I want to go with 100 quantity for UPL at 596. I bought it over there. If I am a buyer, definitely somebody has to sold me that quantity. So
Yes.
only buyers are present in this green candle. There are number of transactions that happen in that candle. That's why don't consider a green candle as a buying candle. It's just the transactions.
I'm not. I'm just talking about the red horizontal box.
No, no, I got your point. What happened in that zone? There's heavy transaction happened between the buyers and sellers. That's why you will start getting the dotted line over there. Now, if I'm getting any next candle over there, what will happen with this transaction? Whoever is seller, whoever have a purposely sold that zone, there are only two guys over there. One who are doing profit booking and one who are doing fresh selling. If I'm a profit booking guy, it's fine. But if I am a fresh seller, what will happen with my position? As soon as if I'll look at any other huge candle moving above my condition or moving above my zone, what will happen with that second guy?
Any can be stuff. So
So he'll start unwinding his position, right? Now that short squeeze will start moving the stock further higher. Are you getting the point? If you're getting anything with this dotted line, now here I cannot go and sell it quickly. It will be a risky matter. I don't know whether it's just a temporary retracement or a fully reversal. If I'm getting any signs like divergences or any other signs, I may still think about this, but rather I will look at a complete base violation. If the base violation happens, I'll be more happy to go for selling it. I'm getting a selling sandwich also here. At that time, I'll be more happy to go for selling. We're having this pattern, right? See here. First two candles are green. Price moved sideways and then the drop happened. I'm not going to engage with the price over here only. I'll be getting a clear confirmation on price. Let it broke the first high made by the day. So the buying started from here. If I'm getting a clear price movement below that cluster, I'll be happy to sell. Now I know whoever huge buyers in these zones, they will now get stuck over there. Am I clear?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Welcome. So there was HDFC Bank, which was showing us a clear base violation, right? And then it started moving down. So very good movement happened. See, understand guys. If there is a volume, stock has to move. Which direction we need to understand along with the patterns. If I'm getting a pure pattern, I'll be more happy. What happened with this particular stock? Let's go and check. Now that particular day, stock was showing us a squeeze candle. What do you mean by squeeze candle? Let's go on daily time frame and check. So this was 25th. This particular day is a 25th. What candle it is on daily time frame? Anyone? It's a evening star. Moreover, it's a doji, right? A very thin body it is having, a kind of spinning top. Like this one also is a doji. Now, this doji tells us a very thin area of trading. That means neither a buyer or a seller were in a commanding position. I'll go on a 15-minute and I'll check what happened on that particular day. What I'm getting over here, I'm looking at a very small area of trading. Now the next day, stock was in a huge volume. Both 220 EMAs are moving above the price. If I'm getting any clear rejection below today's low, now what I need to do? I'll go on a smaller time frame and I'll check what is happening in this zone. Now see, this was the first candle. Price started inching above. I started getting the transactions over there. So rejection is there. Am I going to sell it over here? No, it is difficult. But as soon as I am getting a clear rejection, and that too below previous day's low as well, now it's a very good sign to get it. I now know the early morning buyers are also got trapped and it is moving below previous day's low. It's a very good sign to get in. Hope you are getting the point, right? So UPL we have seen, Axis Bank was there. On 27th, it started tumbling down, made a base formation, and then further fresh sell happened. Right? It was a continuation pattern that happened in Axis Bank. A very good rejection, started moving sideways, and further drop happened. Right? The stock was with a huge volumes. So that was for the 27. What happened on 28th? Now this is the pattern we are talking about. Like in Havels, what we have seen, a retracement and a follow back buying candle. Why we are looking at Havels? Because Havels was in particular NY Pro, and that too along with a huge volume, right? We'll show you. On PVR also there was a NY Pro pattern which appeared, which shows us entry as well as a small retracement candle as your stop loss. So Conquer went sideways after giving you the breakout pro alert. So the Axis Bank, which was having the highest volume along with both the parameters satisfied. Okay. So a gap down bullish structure happened with the stocks. I will look into the stock only when I will get candle above previous day's close. These are the important pointers that to understand. Previous day's high, low and close. If I am getting any pattern above or below that zone, I can consider them as a trigger point to get in. You can easily see how fast movement happen on those stocks which are having a very good volumes. Am I going to gauge with all the stocks? No. I need some certain clarity on that stock. Then I'll be more happy to go forward. So this was a gap down bullish zone that formed by Sun Pharma. So those are the candles which we are looking at in the morning itself along with the volume parameters. Okay, Havels was that particular day was having the highest volumes as well in FO. Now see here. So Naina is asking about the Sun Pharma. Okay, let's go on Sun Pharma. What happened that particular day? It was a gap down opening that happened on the stock. How much gap down open? Was somewhere around 2.5%. Very good gap down opening happened on the stock. Almost all the stocks went down, and then the stock started moving up. What it started forming? It started forming a opening range. This is called the opening range. The first 5-minute candles high and low. And when I'll be going to get such high and low formation, I'll be looking at the breakout candle. Now, this is the cluster that started forming near this zone. If you want any further clarity, you want a clear candle closing above that cluster. Now, these are the tricky zones to trade. Rather, if I'm getting huge gap ups and gap downs, and then price starts moving reversal rather going in the same zone, it will become a bit tricky. Okay, the volume criteria is satisfied, but then you need to understand who are getting trapped. So I'm getting these two red candles. As soon as I'm getting any candle closing above that zone, I now know the fresh sellers are now trapped. Okay, I will still insist you to avoid such patterns. These are tricky to handle. Okay, so now on PD light, the first 5-minute candle was a huge candle. So it was a morning burst pro. That means the volumes was there, but then If I'm going to get such a huge candle, do you think it will be ideal to initiate anything over here? With this 3%, more than 3% candle? No, absolutely no. Try to ignore such candles, okay? Okay, so Vikas asked about the OI, right? Let's complete the examples, that I will give you the idea about the open interest as well. Again, now same thing happened with RBL Bank. It was a huge gap up, second candle, follow up buying. Retracement happened, but then it started tumbling down, rather going further up. So ignore such candles. Hindalco, it started moving up, but didn't sustain and tumbled. So that was another failure setup. This is pure base violation. That means a huge red candle, maximum candle start moving inside the zone and then gives you a clear breakout. The pattern that we look for. Why? So a huge red candle, it starts forming the base and then a sharp green candle above the zone. This is what we want for our buying setup, that exactly formed in ZIL and it started moving up, right? Now at that day, SRT Fin was the top pre-volume candidate, also had a very huge volumes and then it started flying. So almost 16% movement happened in that stock. Same thing in banking sector, IndusInd was having a huge volume. Now this is a part of practice, guys. I'm not going to say to engage with every single stock, but at least start looking at the pattern. If I'm getting a pattern, I'll be more happy, right? If a particular stock starts moving up, what we want is, we want a gap up candle, a cluster, and then further up. So this is called a kind of flag, a pole and flank, and then a confirmation. Took support and again started moving up. To find out the patterns to enter when there is a good volume. Now let's come to the open interest part. I will show you. There is no indicator which is going to tell you it will be a trending day or a sideways day. You need to place a stop loss in system. Yes, Chetan, I'm going to share the entry pointers with you. Okay. So Yogesh, if I'm trying to enter in PD light after a 3% move, I will show you where exactly you can go for. First thing, it will be a huge move that happened on the stock even before entering. Now, what I'm going to do, I now see a huge candle over here, a little retracement, and then the third candle closing below the cluster. This will be your entry. This will be your stop loss. Okay, and easily it will hit the stop loss. All right. Now let's come to the point. Vikas said that how to interpret open interest parts with volume as OI built up can be on call side or put side. Call may provide. Okay, first thing first, Vikas. There are two things that you need to observe. Okay. First, when I'm going to look at top gainers and losers, okay, you can go here in OI spuds and understand this thing. Okay. There are two symbols that are showing me two categories. One is by underlying and second one is by contracts. Now contracts are the part of your options. So you'll see all the calls and puts. Here, whatever open interest change and whatever thing will happen, we are not looking at them. We are not looking at any open interest parameters with respect to options. We are more engaged with the futures. So I will look into the futures open interest. Now today day is closed, so it is not showing us the exact open interest build, but you need to understand with respect to that particular stock, and that too along with its future open interest and not with the calls and puts. Hope you're getting the point. So it will start showing you the impact from after first hour. Okay, so second half it will start providing us very good opportunities to get into the stocks which are having a very good open interest build. So Raj is asking, miss today's meeting little bit. Okay, I have recorded. I will provide the link in the group. Don't worry. Yes, Dharmendra. So, as in summary, volume buzzer and then the patterns. If you are having the both the things intact, we can go ahead for that particular stock. Perfect. So sometimes the gap will get filled because sometimes because ask the volume plus gap up, gap down. For gaps in opening, I usually want to wait for price to fill the gap or go in some direction, but many cases stock do not fill the gap and start rallying. So again, along with the gap. Now, you need to understand one thing. There's a huge gap over here, right? But am I going to enter here keeping the huge SL? No, I want a small SL in my system. So I need some red candles over here. I need some rejection to get in. Then I may not be considering the huge gap. At this point, I'll be more focused on the particular small zone. Rather, if the stock is just moving one way up, it will not the stock, even with the small gaps. Always look for the SL where I can find a comfortable SL. Just like in PT Light, the price movement was huge, but it started giving me a small SL in place. I may think about getting into it. Now I'm not going to damage much to my capital. Now it is up to you. If I'm looking at a huge gap up, am I need to get in? No, it's a FOMO, right? Let it go. Don't need to engage with such huge candles, okay? All right. So I've given answers to almost everyone's questions, and it is pretty much clear up till here, right? So Dharmendra is asking perfect SL. How much is the SL? Okay, I'll tell you. Now the regular FO stocks, they can move easily here and there 2 to 3% easily. Okay. If I'm looking at in the morning itself, I'm not going to look into a stock more than 1.5% as a SL. Other than this, it will be a huge SL. If it's a large cap stock like HDFC, Axis, the banks, or any other Reliance or any other blue chip regular stock, I'll consider 1%, 1.2% is the maximum SL that I'm looking forward. If in a large cap stock also I'm getting huge SL, I may not be interested in that stock. So the high volatile stock, you can keep a little extra SL, but more than 1.5% if I'm keeping SL, what I'm expecting, if I'm expecting 1:2 kind of risk reward ratio, I need 3% more to catch, which is a difficult task, right? Generally, we are looking at 1.5% or max 2% move in our direction. If that happens, it's a very good day for us, right? See, Nana, it's not about Bajaj Finance or Maruti. These are the stocks in the range of 6,000, 7,000. I'm talking about the percentage wise move. Don't look at 5 rupee, 10 rupee that way. Absolutely. So how much risk you are going to take? It will be number of shares which are risk per trade depend upon risk per share. That means if I am having 1,000 rupee risk per trade. Okay, I'm getting into sell, and now from my entry point, the SL is far. How much SL is far from my entry point? So suppose it is exactly 1 rupee 10 paisa far from my entry point. So how much quantity I'm going to get in? 1000 divided by 1.10. So almost 900 quantity I'm going to engage with sell. Hope you are getting clear idea about it now, right? All right. So that's it for the day, guys. And keep looking at all the stocks which comes under this particular category. Moreover, it will be a humble request for you, don't engage with the markets on Monday heavily. We'll be having a very good fluctuation, that too without any sense. Okay, I'm not going to tell you because of this candle that happened or this happened. There'll be no reasons on such wild days. So better protect your capital. If you want to engage with a stock with a high probability setup that you have defined or you have observed, go with a small quantity. All right. Yes. So regarding order execution, can you confirm which one is better, market or limit? Always go for limit. If you have a huge quantity, always go for limit order. Okay. It will be better to fill a little 5 paisa here and there. But if I'm punching the order on market, okay, and the stock is showing me a huge move, you will get a very good slippage. Okay. To avoid a slippage, you can go with the limit order. So, all right, guys, thanks for joining and have a nice weekend. So, Akshay is asking, can we engage with the NY Pro trades with the small SL on mark? As per the trade, you can engage with N number of stock looking at your setup, but gauging with the stock on such a days generally needs a huge stop loss in place. Okay. All right, I'm going to share the documents in your group. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thanks for joining.